Here's a video for the word sex, and it says sex gender because what we wanted to say is we felt like the meanings of sex that we needed to define were the meaning of sex related to being male or female. Of course, there's also another meaning of sex, sexual intercourse, but everybody knows. I think adults already know what that is. We don't have to define it or go into detail about it. That's what we decided. So for this card, we're focusing only on sex, meaning being male or female. But of course, there is another meaning of sex that I'm sure everyone knows. So the meanings we're going to talk about here are one, both as nouns. One is either of the two groups that people, animals, and plants are divided into according to their function of producing young. So that's like in scientific biological way, in a scientific biological way, male and female. What is that? And because it's divided according to the function of producing the next generation of people, animals, or plants. Reproduction. So that's one. And then the second definition, it says the state of being male or female, which can be more, the first one is like biology, biología. The second one is, maybe a mix of biology, but also like culture, or like what does it mean to be male or female with, yeah, in a culture and with people around you, how do they feel about that? That can affect how you feel about it also, and it can affect what that means to each person maybe, right? So, sexo o género, that meaning of sexo género is what we're talking about. Word family, sexuality, sexual, or sexually. I should say that the first one and the third one are probably more, they're more about the other kind of sex, really. That usually when people use those words, they're talking about sexual intercourse. But this one can mean like you could talk about sexual reproduction for biology or something, right? And synonyms, gender, sexuality, manhood, or womanhood. Okay, and so this is a sentence using this word for related to literature, and it's about a famous book that has the word sex in the title. This book is called The Second Sex, and second sex meaning the idea, like the second definition, which is that the state of being male or female. What does that mean? And so this book argues, so this Second Sex by the French writer Simone de Beauvoir is a feminist book that argues that it is unfair that women have been treated as second to or less than men, so that men have always thought of women in history. This book is arguing men have thought of women in history as being second, and men are first, women are second. And this book says, it's a feminist book that says that is not true. That's not fair. That's not fair. So women should not be the second sex. They should be equal sex to men, is what this book is arguing. So let's look at some more sentences. So the first definition, as I said, is biology. So we can talk about here. This was interesting to me. I didn't know this. Even some plants actually, because I thought that many plants, like flowers, will have both male and female parts on the same flower. But some trees and some plants actually have male trees and male plants and female plants, and they're different plants. And they're like one plant is all male and the other one is all female. And so they have two different sexes. So willow trees is an example of that. Willow trees have two different sexes, just like animals or people, and both male and female trees are needed to produce a seed of the willow tree. If you only have one, you don't have the other one, they can't reproduce. And I was reading about it, and they said, these look pretty similar here, but the female one has, the male one has more yellow because it's pollen, and the female one has a little bit of yellow, but it doesn't have pollen. And then the female, this is the female part, I'm pretty sure, on the female plant. So they actually have different sexes, those plants. Kind of interesting. Okay, next one is, I thought I should mention this because it's very much something that people talk about now, right? It's in the news. It's something people discuss, is that transgender people feel that their biological sex at birth is different from the way they experience their gender or sex in the second definition of the state of being male or female. They feel that although they might be born biologically female, they experience their sex as male, or vice versa. So that's what That's what transgender means. And that's it for the video for today. Thank you for watching.